Hello everybody, this is a run through of the no calculator section of the SAT practice test number 10. Again, no calculator. You can find this test on the collegeboard.org website. Okay, number one, this is just basic algebra. You have one equation and one unknown, and they're asking you to find the unknown, which is z. So they're giving you 2z plus 1 equals z. Basically, you want to bring all the z's to the left and everything else to the right. So let's subtract z from both sides so that the z's cancel. 2z minus z is z, so you have z plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1 from both sides, and you have z equals minus 1. The correct answer is B. Number two, okay, we have a television here which costs $300, but it's being paid off incrementally. So the problem says total cost of the television is $300. They're paying $60 initially, and then they're making weekly payments of $30 each. So they're paying $30 the first week, $30 the second week, $30 the third week, etc. And they're asking you to find an equation that you could use to find the number of $30 payments that they would have to make. So, and that they're referring to that as W. W is the number of weekly payments. So these $30 payments, you can think of that as W times 30. There's W of them, and they're $30 each. So you have $300 equals 60 plus W times 30. That's C. Okay, that's the equation that you would use to find W. Now notice they're not asking you to find W, they're just asking you to find the equation that you would use to find W. Okay. 3. Number 3, we have a company that ships products, and the shipping charge is based on the weight of the products here, and they're asking you to find, they're saying it's a linear relationship, and they're asking you to find the equation for the linear relationship. So basically, knowing the weight, you can find the shipping charge. So the weight is the X and the shipping charge is Y. Now with these kind of problems, I find it's always helpful to visualize this by just plotting a few of the points. So you have 5, 10. For a product that weighs 5 pounds, the shipping charge is $16.94, so you have a point here. And for a product that weighs 10 pounds, the shipping charge would be $21.89. All right, so you'd have another point here, and then these 2 points would be out here somewhere, and your line would look like this. Okay, like a straight line. All right, this is your X and this is your Y. Now they're asking you to find the equation for this line. So it's a linear function, so it's always going to be Y equals mx plus b. Now, and your job would be to find m, which is slope, and b, the y-intercept. Slope is delta y over delta x. Now, you could use these 2 points here to find and take your delta y and your delta x, but you know, you're working with some numbers here that are going to be a little difficult to work with. 21.89, 16.94, and you don't have a calculator. So this is where you want to look at the answers they're giving you and see if you can start ruling some of these out. Otherwise, you're going to be grinding away at this for a long time, and you're going to use up a lot of your time. Look at the delta y here, 21.89. minus 16.94. That's, see, that's going to be right around 5, right? Maybe a little less than 5. So I'm going to say almost 5. And the delta x between these 2 points is exactly 5. Your slope is going to be a number that's close to 5 over 5, which is something close to 1, right? So C and D are out. Both of these have slopes of 3.39. No way. Can't be either of those. So I've got it down to A and B now, and look at my line. For A, I have a y-intercept of 0, right? I know this line doesn't look like it's going anywhere close to 0. It's going, you know, a little bit below 16.94. I maybe didn't draw it so accurately, but I could tell it's not anywhere near 0. It's going to be somewhere closer to 16.94, 11.99. Yeah, that looks right. B's the correct answer for 3. All right, number 4. Okay, we've got some columns here and a graph that shows us, based on the diameter of the column, what the height is. Okay, and it's asking about a column that has a base diameter, the height of a column that has a base diameter of 5 feet. Okay, so we look at our graph for 5, come up here, the height, this is our diameter, this is our height. For a column that has a diameter of 5 feet, the height is 35. And the difference between that and the height of a column that has a diameter of 2 feet, so let's look at 2, come out here, the height of that one would be 14. It's asking for the difference, so you're subtracting them. 35 minus 14 is 21. Correct answer is C. All right, number 5. All right, a simple expression here, and they're just asking you to find the equivalent. Well, you've got 2 things being multiplied under the square root sign, so whenever you have that, you can take the square root of each of them separately. Okay. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of x squared is x. 3x. Answer is A. Okay, number 6. They're giving you an expression here, and you're asking you to solve it. Find the values for x that satisfy the equation. All right, first thing you've got to notice with this is up here in the numerator, that's the difference of 2 squares. X squared minus 1, that's the same thing as x plus 1 times x minus 1. Okay, if you FOIL this, you're going to get back to this. The middle terms cancel out. So you can factor this like this. So based on that, you can rewrite this. X plus 1 times x minus 1 over x minus 1 equals minus 2. And the x minus 1's cancel out. So that's how you simplify this, and you're left with x plus 1 equals minus 2. Okay, you're solving for x, so subtract 1 from both sides. X equals minus 3. Correct answer is A. All right, 7. All right, they're giving you a function, y equals f of x, and they're giving you the graph of the function here and asking you, what's the value of f of 0? That's basically just another way of asking you, what is y when x equals 0? So all you're doing on this one is finding the point on this graph where x equals 0, okay? That's the same thing as saying where it crosses the y-axis. So you're looking right here. This is the point where x equals 0, and they're asking what's the value of y? Well, it's 4. Correct answer is D. All right, number 8. They're giving you a figure here. You've got a 90-degree angle here, and they're asking you to find the value of 3x. So basically, if we can just find the value of x, we ought to be able to find the value of 3x pretty easily. This is we got a straight line here, and this is a 90-degree angle. That means this has to be 90 also. Okay, so 2x plus 2x plus x has to equal 90. Okay, let's group these. 2x plus 2x plus x, that's 5x equals 90. Now we can find x, just divide by 5 both sides. X equals, okay, 90 divided by 5. I know you don't have a calculator. I'm sure a lot of you can probably do that. If not, you can use long division. Or, you know, dividing by 5, that's the same thing as dividing by 10 and then multiplying by 2. It's another way to divide by 5. 90 divided by 10 is 9, multiplied by 2, that's 18. X equals 18. Now watch out, a lot of SAT tries to trick you sometimes. A lot of people are going to say, oh, I solved for x, I'm done, answer is A. No, they're not asking you for x, they're asking you for 3x. So don't get tripped up by that. If x equals 18, 3x is 54. So the correct answer is C. All right, number 9. They're showing you a line, and they're asking you to write the equation for the line. Okay, again, it's y equals mx plus b. Anytime it's a straight line, a linear equation, y equals mx plus b is the formula you can use. And your job is to find m and b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Let's start with slope. See how it goes for every unit. Slope is delta y over delta x. So for every unit that it goes to the right, it goes down. So your delta y is -1, delta x is 1. Okay? For every unit that it moves from left to right, it goes over 1 and down 1. So your delta y is -1, your delta x is 1, so your slope is -1. B is the y-intercept. Okay, I'll just look at it and I could see B is -4. So the equation for the line is going to be y equals -x minus 4. Now, look at your answers. None of them are really in this form, but when I look at them, I see all of them have an answer which has x and y on the left. So I'll just add x to both sides to get the x over to the left with the y, and I'll have y plus x equals -4. Correct answer is C. All right, number 10. A graph here, we have a quadratic function. That's why it's a parabola. If the graph crosses the y-axis at the point 0, k, okay, so when it crosses the y-axis, again, here's where it's crossing the y-axis. When it's crossing the y-axis, that's another way of saying x is equal to 0. And it is. What's the value of k? All right, all it's asking is what's the value of y when x equals 0? So I'm going to substitute 0 into the equation that they're giving me. 2 times 0 squared is going to be 0. 10 times 0 is 0. Basically have y is equal to 12. Correct answer is D. All right. 11. A circle in the xy plane has a center of 5, 7, and radius 2. What's the equation of the circle? Okay, if you remember the equation for a circle, first of all, They give you a lot of equations on the front page of the exam, as you can see here, but none of them are for the equation of a circle. If you happen to remember the equation for a circle, you're in luck. The equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. If you remember that h and k are the coordinates of the center and r is the radius, so you'd put 5 in for h, 7 for k, radius is 2, so that would be 4 for r squared, and you'd get right to the correct answer, which is A. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you probably don't walk around with the equation for a circle in your head. I certainly don't. So there's another way you can do this. You can kind of back your way into the answer pretty easily with this. Again, I like to visualize it. Circle has a center of 5, 7. So the center's here, and it's got a radius of 2, which means this distance is going to be 2. So just start thinking about some points on the circle, okay? This is going to be 2 out from 5, so the point here is going to be 7, 7. You could come down here 2. This is, again, radius is 2, so you're going to be 2 down from the center. This point would be 5, 5. And the correct answer here is going to have all the points on the circle should work in the equation for the correct answer. So you can start ruling out some answers pretty quickly. Like, for example, if I look at this point, 7, 7, okay, plug 7 in for x. I'm going to have 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 squared is 144, plus more stuff here. I'm way beyond 4. So B can't be correct because 7, 7 doesn't work in B. D looks like it's going to be similar. I can see that because it's also got the x plus 5 here. Again, 7 plus 5 is 144, plus more stuff. I'm going to be way beyond 2. Can't be D. Okay, again, this is if you don't remember the equation for the circle, which is not a bad idea to know it for the SAT because these do come up a lot. C. Let's put 7, 7 in there. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Plus 7 minus 7, that's 0. 4 plus 0 does not equal 2, so it can't be that. He puts A is the correct answer. We already know that, but just to confirm it, if you use 7, 7 here, 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Plus 7 minus 7, which is 0. Okay, so that works. 5 also works. 5 minus 5 is 0. Squared is 0. Plus 5 minus 7, that's negative 2. Squared is 4. You can see any point on the circle will work in A. All right, so A is the correct answer for 11. Okay, 12. We have similar triangles here. ABC is similar to triangle DEF. What's the value of cosine of E? All right, so it's asking for the cosine of this angle. The thing to know with similar triangles is that the angles are the same, okay? So E is going to be the same as B. These two angles are the same. And if the angles are the same, then the cosines of the angles are the same. So we can get the cosine of E by getting the cosine of B. All right, so how do you find, what's cosine? You probably remember if you were taught this, TOA. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So cosine of B is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, here's angle B. The adjacent side is 12. The hypotenuse is 13. All right, so cosine of B, which is also the cosine of E, is 12 over 13. Correct answer is B. All right. All right, 13. XY plane, we have a function, okay, it's a quadratic again, and has two x-intercepts. What's the distance between the x-intercepts? All right, so we have to find the x-intercepts. What does that mean? If you were to graph this, first of all, I know that it's going up. It can't be down, because if it's down, I would have to have a negative in front of the x squared term. But it's going to look something like this, and there's going to be two x-intercepts. Now, I don't know, I drew it this way as one's negative and one's positive. They could both be negative, they could both be positive. We don't know yet, but the point is they're asking you to find these two x-intercepts and then the distance between them. Okay. X-intercepts are on the x-axis, which means y has to be 0. So I'm basically setting this whole thing to 0. X squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0, and solving for x. Okay, if you can factor it, that's the easiest way to go. I know I'm going to have x, I'm going to have, I need it so that I'm going to have both pluses here because everything's plus up here, 4 and 1. Okay, if I FOIL this, again, if I FOIL this, I should get back to this. That's how you check it. All right, if factoring and foiling are still a little confusing to you, you might want to brush up on those. Just Google it, find it on Khan Academy, because this comes up a lot on the SAT. Now I can get my x and y intercepts. It's what value of x makes this part go to 0. If I put x equals minus 1, that's one solution. Let me write that again. Right, because if I put minus 1 in here, minus 1 plus 1 is 0. 0 times anything is 0. So x equals minus 1 is one solution, and minus 4 is the other, because again, minus 4 plus 4 makes this go to 0. Anything times 0 equals 0. So my solutions are minus 1 and minus 4. But it's not asking you for the solutions. It's asking you for the distance between the x-intercepts. So think of the number line. You have 0. One of my intercepts is at minus 4. I have another one out here at, I'm sorry, minus 1. Another one at minus 4. It's asking you for the distance between those, okay, which is 3. Correct answer is C. All right. Another equation, and what values for x satisfy the equation, number 14. And there's really only two choices, and they're just asking you if it's this one, or both, or neither. So I think the easiest thing to do here is to just substitute these in and see which ones work. So let's start with Roman numeral 1, where x is equal to 1. So I'm going to have square root of 4 times 1 equals 1 minus 3. Okay, I'm just putting 1 in for x. Let's see, does it work? Square root of 4 times 1 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2 equals 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. No, 2 does not equal negative 2. So 1 is out. Let's try 2. For 2, we're putting 9 in for x, so we're going to have square root of 4 times 9 equals 9 minus 3. Okay, square root of 36 is 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. Yeah, 6 equals 6. So it's 2. 2 only. Correct answer is B. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, wait a minute. Square root of 4 could also be minus 2. So I could have minus 2 equals 1 minus 3, which is minus 2. So 1 could work also. And honestly, when I looked at this the first time, I went with answer C, 1 and 2, because I did exactly that also. But if you look at the answer to this, they're saying it can only be the principal square root, which is the positive square root. So they're saying square root of 4 can be 2 and it can't be minus 2. Now, honestly, I think if you were to answer C, you could make a pretty good case for that answer. But the correct answer on the key is B. I think it's kind of a confusing question, but I'll leave it at that. 15. All right. They're giving you 2 equations here and asking you to find a value of A that makes it so the system of equations has no solution. No solution means you boil this down and you get something that comes out to A equals B, where A is some constant and B is a different constant. Something like maybe like 2 equals 5, which of course 2 can never equal 5. That's what it means to have no solution. So the way you want to tackle this is try to use elimination to get these to cancel out so that you have 0 on the left side, right? You want to get the x's and y's to all cancel out so that you have 0 on the left side equal to something on the right which is not 0, and that's no solution. Okay, so let's try to do that. I'm going to multiply the first equation by minus 2 to get the y's to cancel out. So minus 2 times all this. So I'm going to have minus 2 times negative 3x, which is 6x, minus 2y equals negative 12. And I'm going to bring the second one down. I'm going to have ax plus 2y equals 4. Now see, the y's are going to cancel out. If I make a equal to negative 6, okay, that means the x's are going to cancel out. Right, so that these are gone. I have 0 equals negative 8. Obviously 0 can never equal negative 8. That's no solution. So the correct answer for 15 is A. All right, now we're to the end of the test where we have these grid-in questions. Okay, we have a manufacturer that's shipping units of a product to 2 different locations. And basically they're telling you T is total shipping cost, and they're giving you that 47,000, so we can plug that in there. And they have 3,000 units shipped to the further location, that's F. They're giving you a T, they're giving you F, and they're asking you to find C. So not too difficult. Let's substitute those values in. Okay, again, I know you don't have a calculator, but this isn't too bad. When you substitute in, you get this 40. So let's simplify it. 12 times 3,000 is 36,000. Okay, we're just solving for C here. Subtract 36,000 from both sides. 47,000 minus 36,000 is 11,000. Okay, that cancels. 11,000 equals 5C. Okay, how would you find C? You want to divide both sides by 5. C is 11,000 over 5. Okay, obviously you can't grid that in. You got to do the division. I think the easiest way to tackle that without a calculator is think of 11,000 as 10,000 plus 1,000. okay? And just divide both of those by 5 and add them together, you're going to get 2,000 plus 200. The correct answer for 16 is 2,200. That's what you would grid in there. All right, 17. They're giving you an absolute value here and asking you to find two values for x which satisfy this absolute value equation, and then they're asking you for absolute value of a minus b, the two values for x. So the way to tackle an absolute value problem is look at the inside. Okay, 2x plus 1 equals 5. Solve it just as if the absolute value bars weren't even there, and you're going to get x equals 2. Okay, you can just almost just see that. 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. Then solve it as if the value inside is minus 5. So 2x plus 1 equals negative 5. Okay, x equals minus 3. So that's your a and your b. Okay, so you're going to have a equals 2, and b is the other value for x, which is minus 3. And they're asking you to find the value of absolute value of a minus b. So absolute value of a minus b is going to be absolute value of 2 minus negative 3. Okay. 2 minus negative 3 is the same as saying 2 plus 3. Absolute value, which is 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5. The correct answer for 17 is 5. Okay, 18. We have an antique that's value is increasing 10% a year. It's asking us to find the value after 2 years and then do something with that value. So let's start by making a table where this is the first column is the number of years, and the second column is the value after that many years. So initially in year 0 the value is 200. Okay. In year 1 we know it increases, the value increases by 10%. Okay, 10% of 200 is 20. Add that to the value, you're going to get 220. All right, in year 2 it increases by another 10%. 10% of 220 is 22. All right, 220 plus 22 gives me 242. All right, so the value in year 2 is 242. Now, there's another part to this. They're saying the value after 2 years, which we just found out is 242, can be represented by this expression, 200a. All right, so 200a is equal to 242. What is the value of a? Okay, well, let's divide both sides by 200. And I'm going to get a is equal to 242 over 200. Let's reduce this. Okay, I can divide the numerator and the denominator by 2, take half of each. I'm going to get 121 over 100. Okay, 121 over 100 is 1.21. I can grid that in. That's the answer. Answer to 18 is 1.21. All right, 19. They're giving you a system of equations, 2 equations and 2 unknowns, and asking you to find 5x plus 5y. Now, your first thought might be, okay, I can do substitution or elimination, find x, find y, and then plug those in here and get the answer. going to be a lot of work. I'm looking at this 5x plus 5y. That's exactly what I'm going to get if I just add these two equations together. So in other words, 2x plus 3x is 5x. 3y plus 2y is 5y. 1200 plus 1300 is 2500. That's my answer. 5x plus 5y is 2500. So that's your answer for number 19. Okay, number 20. Okay, you might take a look at this and, you know, what is the value of u minus t times u squared minus t, and just, you know, what? It doesn't even look like there's enough to go on because they're not giving you much here. But look at u squared minus t squared. That's another difference of two squares, just like we had earlier in the exam. Okay, u squared minus t squared. Okay, anytime you see a square minus another square, always think about whether it can be, you can factor that into the difference of two squares, meaning u plus t times u minus t. Okay, again, if you FOIL this out, you're going to get back to this. Okay, if you're not clear on that, brush up on difference of two squares. But look what happens when you do that. Then come back to here, you have u minus t. And then instead of u squared minus t squared, I'm going to use this. U plus t, u minus t. Now we can start substituting things in here because u plus t is 5. So for u plus t, I'm going to put 5. And up here it tells us u minus t is 2. So where I have u minus t, I can put 2. So it's really just 2 times 5. Again, another u minus t here. That's 2. It's 2 times 5 times 2, which is 20. The answer to 20 is 20. Okay, that does it. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like the video and share it. And I'll also be doing more videos. So be sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Thanks for watching.